Oh, hello, everybody. It's me, Chris Smith. Welcome to the YNTAAY Minis. You may not have recognized me without my glasses and with my face mask up, but I can't hardly wear my glasses anymore because of the face mask making, the glasses all fog up like that. I don't know what I'm going to do when the theaters reopen later in July, if they reopen. They moved it. They moved it from July 15th to July 30th at the AMC theaters and many theaters across the globe. But, speaking of July, I was just looking at the calendar and I was thinking, my goodness, it's July 13th. 2020. I had to look and see what year it is, like I could forget this year. And I remembered that back on July 13th, 1983, which I believe is 37 years ago. Let me do some calculating. Yes, 37 years ago on this very day, I was bitten by a copperhead snake while catching lightning bugs, also known as fireflies, at the edge of night, half dark, half light, in my backyard in West Virginia. And I was had the little mason jar with the holes poked in the top. We would always catch them and then let them go immediately. We didn't do anything to them, like torture them, like some cruel kids did. But I was doing catching the lightning bugs in the backyard with my niece Sharon and my nephew, little Stephen. And I had gotten a new dog, Anna, Leah, Tina, Maria, Sophia, Dorothea, Fettuccina, Santana, Montana, Linda, Michelle, Patricia, Bell, Conchita, Alonso, Alicia, Pear, Keisha, Mabuji, Dominica, Gwinnetta, Georgetta, Susie, Chanel, Augusta, Angela, Tammy Faye Smith Jr. I had just gotten her a few weeks before that. A St. Bernard. You all know Anna if you've seen old episodes. Oh, I miss Anna. I can't wait to go and rejoin her on the other side. Not anytime soon, I don't think. But, yeah, so I had just gotten her. So we were, she was around somewhere. And she would always playfully bite at everyone's ankles. Not a mean bite, but a playful one. Well, I was, looking, trying to catch these lightning bugs, and I felt a bite on my ankle, and I was like, ouch, because it wasn't too painful, but I just assumed it was my dog, my little St. Bernard puppy, Anna, nipping at my ankles, and I looked down, and a shadowy figure, it was, dusk, so it was sort of light, sort of dark, like I sang the Edge of Night song. And this slithering snake was just moving away from me. And I was like, ah! And I threw my lightning bug jar up in the air. And my niece and nephew didn't know what had happened. They thought that, well, I don't know what they thought, but they were like chasing after the jar that was rolling down the hill because they thought maybe it would break and that we would get in trouble. So I ran into the house, and I should do this episode with my family, and everybody can tell you about it too. But for now, we'll just have me here because there's a pandemic, so I can't see my family. So I run into the house and I'm screaming and screaming, snake, snake. And my sister Jeanette was on the phone and she was like, Chris, I can't hear. I'm on the phone. And then she sees the blood dripping from my ankle onto the linoleum in the kitchen. And, oh, it was very scary. Then she said, Chris got bit by a snake. I'll call you back. She was talking to her husband. And so my mother comes running in and she's screaming, everybody's screaming. They're calling the hospital saying, what do we do about snake bites? Because, they were going to take me, but they didn't know if you need to do a tourniquet. And the hospital was like, don't put a tourniquet on it. So I don't know if this still holds in modern medicine, but they said that it can cause damage if there's a tourniquet and then the poison can't flow or something, But they got me to the hospital very quickly. My brother Jim Smith drove me and my mother, and I just kept thinking about Liz on Days of Our Lives and when she got shot in the neck while in prison. And I was like, I'm gonna die. And my mother said, I know you are. She says she didn't say that, but others heard it too. I'm sure she was just hysterical too. So, but yes, I kept thinking, well, if Liz can get shot in the neck, I can get through this. And don't worry, Liz was okay. She just lost the ability to sing for a little while. But yeah, so we get to the hospital, and oh, the poison had moved up to my knee during the ride there in the car. And it was so painful. It felt like butcher knives on the inside of my knee digging their way out. I don't recommend getting snake bitten if you can help it. And so I was in the hospital. That was on Wednesday, July 13th, 1983. And I was in the hospital until Saturday morning. So that was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 3 nights in the hospital. And I remember, of course, since it was July, there were repeats on TV, except for my soap operas. I remember on Friday's episode of Days of Our Lives, it ended with Tony and Anna DeMira in a little boat on the lake. And it started filling with water, and they were like, whoa, whoa, and they fell off. And I think Renee Dumond had punctured a hole in the boat somehow. She had rigged it so that it would sink. Well, Anna was pregnant, and somehow during the fall off the boat, she miscarried, which seems strange because if you fall into water, I don't see, but maybe she fell and hit the boat or something. I don't remember those details, but she did lose that baby, and Anna was fit to be tied. And on the Catlins, that soap opera on TBS, I remember somebody got pushed down a hill, and they rolled down this big hill and were laying unconscious at the bottom. And then I remember that night, that Friday night on Dallas, it was a repeat of when JR and Sue Ellen were getting remarried in a big tent at South Fork. And then when they asked if anybody had just cause why this couple shouldn't be wed, Cliff Barnes stood up, and it was like, doo-doo-doo, but I think he just exited the wedding ceremony. You know, he was in love with Sue Ellen. So those were some of the things that I remember happening. But yes, it was very strange staying in the hospital, and my family stayed vigil with me the whole time. Oh, when I was in the ER, everybody gathered around me and prayed, and even Brother John, our preacher in Chataway Missionary Baptist Church, was there leading the prayer. I remember thinking, oh, it's much ado about nothing because it's a snake bite, but I mean, you never know. The copperheads are very venomous. That was the snake that bit me. I asked Alexa last night, and she said that copperheads live 22, 23 years. So since it's 37 years, that snake is definitely dead, and we don't know how old it was at that time. But can you imagine the nerve of biting me? But I'm trying to be forgiving of people who have wronged me and snakes who have wronged me, so I'm willing to let go now that the snake is dead. Uh-oh, somebody's coming. I have to take their temperature. I'm back, kids. You know, I look at my cute little face shield. I made it say the Olive Garden because waiters and waitresses have to wear face shields. Well, now the restaurants are closed again here in Los Angeles, so you can only go to restaurants that have a patio outside. But it's been like almost 100 degrees this weekend, so I'm not going to go and sit in a parking lot, even under like a little canopy or something. I'm sorry, it's too hot. Oh, this pandemic, it's horrible, y'all. Haven't I suffered enough snake bites, pandemics, all of my coworkers being fired, or not fired, but laid off? I mean, no movies, people dying in the streets. It is awful out there. But let's look back to a happier time when I was in the hospital for 3 nights. And boy, did my hair get greasy during that time. And I used that snake bite for months. Every time they would want me to mow the grass or something, I'd be like, ouch, my snake bite wound. That's between you and me. Okay, goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.